Alright, time for another video. I got the gas tank put up, back in place, got a new battery. Oh, let me talk about batteries. If you go to Walmart, you got those ones that's 1, 2, and 3 year batteries. They're all the same. Don't buy that expensive battery. The one we pulled out was a Wally World battery, and it was 6 years old, and it was a 2-year battery. Don't go buy them expensive batteries. You're wasting your money. Now, some batteries go bad. That's just the nature of the beast. They make so many of them. There's only about 3 manufacturers of batteries. Alright, back to what I was talking about. We got the tank put in. Got it put in place. We thought everything was fine. Last night went and started. Wouldn't start. Would not start. So we gave up. It was getting dark. Came out this morning and it popped right off. I don't know what the heck's going on with that. I know I didn't crimp any wires or hoses or anything like that. The high voltage code went away for the ignition control module, but I got a misfire, a light misfire number 2. We've been running it and it's getting smoother and smoother, so I'm going to pull the plug out, make sure the boots on the distributor and the plug are copacetic, but that's just the way it goes. Alright. We got the offending brake drum off. It wasn't too bad. I had to use a tool to kind of pry it off. And it came off. We adjusted the adjuster, give it a little bit more space. Cleaned it off with brake clean. Here's the drum from the other one. What we're doing is we take a, let me get that. Put a little wire wheel on my die grinder and just do a low speed. Just clean the surface up real nice. I ain't cleaned this with brake clean yet, but it had a little light rust in places where the brake shoes were sitting, so we got that nice and clean. All the brake shoes on the back are in great shape, but these generally last for, oh God, 5 times as long as the front. It was with, 60% of the braking's on the front, so these are all good. This one came off real easy. Let me come over here. The wheel cylinders aren't leaking. I haven't cleaned those with brake clean yet. We're just fixing to zip this one up. We want to put it in gear and turn the rear end to make sure we don't get any weird noises from that chunk. So, but that's good. We already blew the dust off of it. We'll just finish it off with brake clean. I'll hit them pads, or not pads, these are shoes. Clean them up real good. So that worked out really good. Why we had it jacked up, why the hell not? I got all the stuff I need to do. I got to do the transmission mount, transmission pan with the drain plug, filter, fluid, all that kind of stuff. The rear differential, I got a gasket for that. I'll take that differential cover off and wire wheel that, and take care of put some of that Hills rust defender on it, and then I'll spray it with some high temperature paint. That'll be good. Alright. We got the Coolant Exchange. We let it come up to operating temperature. It's running a lot smoother. You can tell that little bobble's number 2. I gotta look at that, figure out what that is. But the longer we run it, the better it runs. Got a little bit of a squeak here. We cleaned up, sprayed some cleaner on everything, got it cleaned up. So it may be that tensioner or that idler, but I've got both that I can put on it. But that little squeak don't bother me right now. But oh, I use that super clean on the outside of this reservoir, and it really got it clean. Now you can see where the fluid level's at. But the temperature came up real good. And we cleaned up a little bit around here. It looks a lot better. But I can tell number 2's fire is misfiring just a little bit. But I know as long as they've been sitting out, I put some Berryman's B12 in the gas, and I only got about 5 gallons of gas in it, so I'm gonna let that stuff clean it up real good. But like I said, I'm gonna pull the plug and check the plug wire, make sure that's all good. Hopefully it's not a dang injector. I don't have to pull that stuff apart, but it looked good. Alright. Alright, fluids and whatnot. When you buy coolant, get the concentrate, mix it with a gallon of distilled water. It's about half the price. You get 2 gallons instead of, don't buy 50-50. Just get the concentrate. $2 for a gallon of distilled water. I use a 5-gallon pail. I mix it up together. The rear end on these GMs, take that 80-90 GL5 gear lube, and I got my trans mount. When you get a the transmission filter, open that box up. Make sure you got a rubber gasket. If it's got paper in there, go somewhere else. Them paper ones leak like crazy, and just get you a good rubber one like that. These ain't expensive. I'm getting like Derek at Vice Grip Garage. I'm starting to buy all my stuff at O'Reilly's. We got a good one we go to. Their stuff is real good. So yeah, don't waste money on that. Coolant, get the concentrate. It's only about $2 more than the 50-50. Just make sure and mix it with distilled water. Alright. Oh, I wanted to add something real quick about we did change the oil. Being so old, there's probably some sludge built up in there. And I got a friend that owns a shop, and what he recommends, what I do is I put a quart of transmission fluid in there with the oil. I'll drive it 3,000 miles, but while I'm driving it, I keep an eye on the oil, make sure it's not getting really bad. But when you flush these engines out for oil, you don't want to do it too fast, because if you break up too much stuff, it's going to block your oil filter up. Then it goes into bypass mode. Then you've got all kinds of nastiness floating around. So next oil change, I'm going to do the same thing. You know, with my Suburban like it was, I'm going to keep this thing clean. Clean the lifters out. All that kind of stuff. And it doesn't change your oil pressure. It doesn't hurt your engine. It's just a slow way, because transmission fluid's a high detergent. So you just want it in there, just cleaning it real slow, and just keep an eye on it. I mean, that's the best way to do it. Don't get in a hurry on it. Unless you got something that's catastrophically bad, that's what you're going to have to do. But I know this thing ain't catastrophically bad. Alright. Alright, first drive. Oh, we did find out something else, that the headlights don't come on with the switch, but the running lights do. So, gotta figure that out. We want to get this ECM to go through at least as many cycles as we can driving just around here on the dirt roads. It rattles a little bit, but that's okay. It's what, 26 years old. We don't pretty much worry about cops out here. We're on dirt roads, and they're pretty cool guys, so they'll understand us driving around for a test drive. Alright. Alright, I'm going to add this video after the one where we were driving it. But yesterday when we drove it, we had probably half a dozen codes. The check engine light was flashing, which means that's pretty bad. You don't, it's damaging your catalytic converter. We reset the codes, let it sit overnight. This is what we've got now. That engine, no misfire anymore. It's just sit there, runs smooth. Sounds great. So driving it squared away a bunch of stuff. Powerful. Picks up speed like crazy, idles great. Man, this thing, I tell you, these things setting up is not good for them. So I think unless something pops up, I think we've got this part done. We're going to go ahead and do the brake fluid of the day. I've got to do differential in the transmission. I'm just waiting on the pan with the drain plug from Amazon for the transmission, so I'll do that when it comes in. But it's amazing. I figured driving this thing a little bit was going to let that ECU start talking to everything, and it did. But this sounds great. Doesn't overheat, the oil pressure's good. I have to say, this is a win. Alright, let me do one here at the exhaust. You can listen to that, hopefully you can hear it. There's no misfire. We had a lot of condensation come out, but imagine this exhaust system had a ton of water in it. We were kind of worried, thinking it might have had a blown head gasket, but as we drove it and heated it up and heat cycled it, it stopped doing it. No smoke. It doesn't smell rich. Damn, that just tickles the shit out of me. Alright, I got my oil pan cleaned for my Suburban. I let it soak in gasoline for about a week. There was so much residue. Cleaned that up, and I used that Super Clean on it. Even after being soaked and cleaned in gasoline, it still took oils off. So I sprayed that in there and rinsed it out real good with water, because right in here you can't get in there really to scrape it out. So I used some of those like pipe cleaners, but you know, automotive style. You can get in there and up in there and clean that out. And I since I was using water, I blew it off with compressed air, got it dry. I didn't want it to rust. Now the inside of these oil pans are painted, so that's no big deal, but it came real clean. Now I got to put a second coat. I ran out of paint. I put a light coat on there to keep any flash rust from happening. So this thing's ready. Once I put that second coat, I'm going to let it dry. I've got to get in my Suburban and start pulling out parts that I've got to clean. The rocker arms are all soaking in gasoline now. Oh, it's funny, on the gasoline, we dropped that tank. We thought it was fresh gas. We put some gas in it, but when we pumped it out, it was just black. So we got 12 gallons out, and I bought some 5-gallon pails, and I soaked everything in gasoline, got it out, cleaned it up real good, and repainted it so the gas didn't go to waste. And you ain't got to worry about disposing of gas. Just take the top off with a nice sunny day, and that gas evaporates fast. So then you ain't got to worry about disposing of it. But this is good. One more coat, and it goes back in the Suburban whenever I putting all my parts that I get done back in the Suburban, so I'm ready for it. So that's it for this time. Y'all have a good one.